So I don't usually talk about Dungeons and Dragons, Warhammer, or Magic the Gathering because I don't really play those games and I've never really had an experience with them. And there's other channels that usually talk about them, so I leave that up to them because most of them seem pretty up to date on what's going on. But this is a little bit different because, well, this is something anybody can understand, and it's kind of stupid to me, and I'm going to go over why. Dungeons and Dragons fans call for a removal of the term race from the game, which is incredibly stupid. I don't get this. So this comes from ResetEra. If you don't know who ResetEra is, it's a extremely, and I mean extremely, woke video game forum. Now, if it was just a bunch of, losers, I wouldn't worry about it. But the problem with ResetEra is they wield incredible power. They have a lot of game journalists on there, game developers, and so on, that are verified and use that website regularly. A lot of people in the media. Whoever wrote this article for VG 24/7 probably has an account on ResetEra, games media, all over there. They have tremendous power, and they're super, super, super woke. And they regularly get what they want. And it's because they have all this games media backing and game developers that are woke all over the website. Now, they're calling for race to be removed from Dungeons and Dragons, and it looks like they might have been successful. Now, here's what I don't get about this. Why would you want to remove the word race? This is what I don't get, okay? Because a lot of these people push the differences. The difference is that people that are in an oppressed category, there's a whole movement, the BLM movement, saying that, their lives are, worth mattering. Why would you remove the term race then? Because here's the thing. If you take away the term race, that would make it colorblind, right? So you would be colorblind now. Well, do you know what colorblind does? It removes all of the problems that are associated to that race. So any kind of discrimination that you see, you don't see that anymore because you're colorblind. You're seeing things all one way now. So that group that says they face these issues, well, you no longer see those because you don't see race. And if you don't see race, well, how do you see those issues? It's a really weird stance. It should technically be the total opposite of what they're trying to fight for, but they're taking it away, which, like I said, I really don't get. How is this a win for the things that you claim to fight for? It's why these people are dumb, and they don't really get what they're trying to talk about. Celebrating the removal of race, well, that's not going to fix anything. The best way to go about things is to have an honest conversation with people. Removing the term from a Dungeons and Dragons game isn't doing anything, and it should be nothing to celebrate. Because like I said, if you're removing it, then you're just going to ignore the problems. So it's just stupid to me. But here they are celebrating it. Dungeons and Dragons could be doing away with the term race in character creation, and fans are suggesting plenty of better alternatives. Back in June, Dungeons and Dragons principal rules designer Jeremy Crawford responded to a query about a yet-to-be-announced Dungeons and Dragons product. However, the tweets recently resurfaced on ResetEra, where players are having a lengthy conversation about ways to redesign the game in a fairer and more thoughtful way. That's not really the best way to go about it, like I explained before. But these people, they know everything. And if you disagree with them, well, you're an istophobe. You're an istophobe, basically. That's the argument. There's no other argument. You can check out the original tweet below, which is the first piece of evidence suggesting that Dungeons and Dragons will be removing the word from character generation. So that's pretty much it for this article. I want to move over to what they're actually saying over on ResetEra. So this is the thread right here, and here are the tweets. The yet unannounced product below still hasn't been announced. And then this gentleman right here says, I noticed the word race isn't used. Is WOTC looking to exchange that word for another, perhaps more accurate word? I feel species captures what it really is better, but it feels too sciencey. I noticed, and he says, fun fact, the word species has been in use since at least the 14th century, which is in a time period D&D often emulates. Now, here's the thing. Like, I feel like race would be the actual term because they're all humans, like, right? At least a human form, like an elf. Wouldn't an elf be another form of human? So it would be a different race of humans. I'm not sure. Like, they look humans. So to me, they're human, but they're elves. So they're not, like a Homo sapien. They're whatever you would call the elf. Same with the dwarves. They're still like a humanoid. So dwarves would be, a different race. It's very strange to see how this is being broken down. And I don't want to get too much into it, but I feel like a species would be like, I don't know what the Dungeons and Dragons species are. The closest thing I can think of is maybe something like Skyrim, right? You have like the cat people. They technically, to me, would be a different species than a human. Like, because they're at least, a different species. It's like dogs and cats are different species. But like elves, dwarves, and humans would be different races. I think I'm getting my point across here, but I don't know. I guess it's not too big of a deal, to be honest. However, I just find it funny that what they're doing is they're celebrating the removal of that term. The original point that I'm wanting to make with this is that removing that shouldn't be something that's celebrated, because if anything, if you truly believe that these groups are oppressed for these certain problems, and I do think some are in some ways, when you take away that term and you want to have everybody under one umbrella, well, then the problems they face, they don't magically go away. They just get ignored. But I just find it funny that they don't seem to understand that, and they're the woke ones. But anyway, listen to what they're saying. This is exactly what we asked for. We won, fam. Yeah, species doesn't feel like the right word of choice. Origin or background would probably work better if they need something like that. Ancestry is the best word to substitute, in my opinion. Good on them, in any case. About time. I never cared for the word race in fantasy RPGs to describe what is essentially different non-human species. The word species does sound a bit out of place in fantasy, though. And you got this guy right here. I like folk. like they're living in the hills or something. So... yeah, they gotta win. Dungeons and Dragons fans, I don't know if you even care. My thing that I found funny about this is that they totally ignore the problem with what they're looking for here, and that's kind of like a running theme with like the super woke people, is that they're all kind of dumb and angry, and they don't really know what they're talking about. It's just about destruction, and they got one here. They got to win. This is exactly what everyone was asking for. We won, fam. We won. ResetEra claims another scalp, and that's just what happened. So, yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I don't really have anything else. What did you guys think about this? What are your thoughts on this? Do you agree? Do you disagree? How do you feel if you're a Dungeons and Dragons player? How do you feel about what's going on in your hobby? I'd like to hear what you have to say. Also, if you would, throw a like up, hit that notification bell, share the video, make sure you still subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out.